Good morning, children. A very warm welcome to you all. First of all, my congratulations to you for being promoted to class 7th. Children, the first day of every session is always very exciting, both for students as well as us teachers. But due to the present circumstances, we are unable to come to schools and we are all locked up at our homes only. But anyways, we have to make the best of our situations. So here I am with a virtual class of social science. Children, I am Anjana Jhalani, and today we are going to learn geography. Before coming to the topic, I would like to ask you all, are you all familiar with the word environment? Yes, I think yes. Now, what is environment? Yes, environment means our surroundings. So, the topic of today's class is our environment. This is the first chapter of geography. Now, children, what is environment? What is the proper definition of environment? The place, people, thing, and nature that surrounds any living organism is called environment. It is our basic support system. It provides the air we breathe, the water we drink, the food we eat, and the land where we live. See, children, these are the components of environment. Mainly, there are two components, natural and human-made. The natural environment comprises of all living things, land, air, water. That means the things which are provided to us by nature. The second component is human-made. That it comprises of the things which are made by us humans for our convenience. For example, buildings, parks, bridges, roads, industries, monuments, and so on. Children, we as human also form our environment. We as individual, as family, as community, or different religious groups. You all will be surprised to know that even the political situation of a country forms the environment of that particular country. Similarly, the economic conditions, the status of education, all this also constitutes environment. Now we come to natural environment. The natural environment refers to two conditions, biotic and abiotic. As the name indicates, biotic means related to life. So the two components of biotic environment are plants and animals. Abiotic environment comprises of non-living things such as land, water, air, etc. So now natural environment. We can say that natural environment comprises of land, water, air, plants, and animals. This means it deals with the four domains of the earth. Yes, you have heard right. Four domains. Remember, we did it in class 6th also. The four domains of earth are, I'm sure you remember, lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere, and biosphere. About lithosphere, it is the solid crust or the hard top layer of the earth. It is made up of rocks and minerals and is covered with a thin layer of soil. Now it has irregular surface. You know that there are various landforms such as mountains, plateaus, plains, etc. Landforms are also found over the continents and on the ocean floors. Lithosphere is the domain that provides us forests, grasslands, land for agriculture and human settlements. It is also a source of mineral wealth. The domain of the earth, the second domain is hydrosphere. It is the domain of water. All water bodies like rivers, lakes, seas, oceans are a part of hydrosphere. Even the underground water is hydrosphere. Now, the third domain is atmosphere. A thin layer of air that surrounds the earth is called atmosphere. Now, do you know, children, what holds the atmosphere around earth? Yes, it's the gravitational force of the earth. Due to the gravitational force, the atmosphere always remains around the earth. The atmosphere protects us from the harmful rays of the sun. You know, there is a layer called ozone in the atmosphere which protects us from the ultraviolet rays of the sun. It consists of various gases other than ozone like nitrogen, oxygen, hydrogen, carbon dioxide. Nitrogen and oxygen are called life-supporting gases. Besides these gases, it also consists of dust and water vapor. The change in atmosphere produces change in the weather and climate. Now the fourth domain, that is the biosphere. Plant and animal kingdom together make biosphere. Or we also call it as the living world. It is the narrow zone of earth where land, water and air interact with each other. It supports life. You know, children, earth is the only planet which has life on it. We did it last year also, children. You can see very clearly it has got hydrosphere, atmosphere, lithosphere, and this zone of interaction of all these three spheres is the biosphere. It is indicated by a circle inside this. Now the next topic is ecosystem. It is a system formed by the interaction of all living organisms with each other and with the environment they live in. Children, all plants, animals and human beings depend on their immediate surroundings. Often they are interdependent on each other. The relation between living organisms as well as the relation between organisms and their surroundings forms an ecosystem. There could be an ecosystem of ponds. See here in this picture you can see pond ecosystem. Then we have this desert ecosystem. You can see cactus. Yes, this indicates by seeing cactus you can understand that it is a desert ecosystem. Then we have this grassland ecosystem. There can be an ecosystem, there could be an ecosystem of mountains, lakes, oceans and many other areas. So this is ecosystem. Now we come to human environment. Human beings interact with the environment and modify it according to their need. Earlier, when we were early humans, at that time, we adapted ourselves to the natural surroundings. Early humans led a simple life and fulfilled their needs from the nature. Later, the needs grew and we humans also learned new ways to use and change the environment. For example, we started growing crops. Before this, We were not knowing how to grow crops, so we used to wander from one place to another in search of food, and we were called as food gatherers. But we learned how to grow crops, we learned to domesticate the animals, and these two things led to a settled life. Now, when we wanted to live near our fields, we needed homes, we needed houses. So we started building, we learned to build huts and houses. Then, uh, it is said that the necessity is the mother of all inventions. So as our needs grew, so did the inventions. The wheel was invented, then there were changes in agriculture because of which surplus food was produced, and we had now different goods and we wanted to exchange them. This led to barter system. What is barter system, children? It is a trade in which goods are exchanged without the use of money. You all know at that time there were no currencies, so we used to exchange goods from each other. So that is called barter system. Later on, industrial revolution took place, transportations became faster, trade and commerce developed. When currencies developed, trade also developed, and there was development in communications also, and thus the world became a small place with the development of transport and communication. Now, today we can interact with the whole world sitting at our home. This time period, the period through which we are going through, is the best example of it. See here, I am sitting at my home and talking to you all. So, uh, these are the changes which the humans brought to the environment. Now, children, although these changes were needed, but what happened? Our need when our needs turned into greed, we also didn't realize. And we started uh, to destroy this natural environment, which was in fact very useful for us. Like we started cutting trees, um, we started polluting our water bodies, we started polluting our earth, and so on. So then men also started hunting animals and all that. This all disturbed the balance of nature, and in some way or other it is affecting our lives. Now there is need to be a perfect balance between the natural and human environment. So we must learn to protect our environment, and we should live and use the environment in a harmonious way. For this, we have to be aware how we can save our earth from pollution, we can save our water bodies from pollution, and so on. Government also takes many steps regarding this. For example, on 5th June every year, World Environment Day is celebrated. So, children, we have to be very careful while using our natural, while using the um, things provided to us by nature, and should develop, but should also take care of our environment. That's all for today. Now I have some assignments for you which you have to do. Question number 1, what is environment? Name the components of natural environment. Question number 2, make a list of the components of man-made environment. Question number 3, define the following: a barter system, ecosystem. Question number 4, explain how human beings are responsible for creating disturbance in the environment. Question number 5. When is the World Environment Day celebrated? That's all for today. Um, uh, the second chapter will be taught to you by some other teacher that we will let you know.